After you upload content, which is very important because you actually can't build a player until you upload the content, you can then start to build your player. So whenever you make your player, you're gonna get to this screen. Everything isn't going to be filled out, obviously, yet, but this is where you'll start. So the first thing you'll do is your player name. Your player name is just for you. It is not for. It's not going to show up on the player at all. This is just something for you to put in for your own sake to find it. I find a good tip is to put a number on the player so that way you can look up this number if you have a lot of players, and then it just makes it a little easier to categorize. Then you're going to choose the player type. This depends on your plan. With our higher tier plans, you have access to all three. With our lower tier plans, you just have the Journey Guide player. But you'll pick your player here, and you can see here in our preview, it'll pop up a little preview of what your player will look like. It's very important to know, though, that this preview does not actually show how the questions interact. You have to go to Visit Player up here to actually see how that works. This is just so you kind of see the type and the overall layout and the colors. Then in our content, this is where you actually can change the titles. For example, I just put test at the end of that. And you can see that it updates for you right away. So this is where you can see your title, your subtitle here, your quests, which are our questions or topics. There are two types of questions. There's our predefined questions, and then we have freestyle, ask anything kind of questions on the player that are available to your user. You should really think of the most engaging questions that are suitable for your content. One tip I have for this is getting a transcript of your content and using an AI program to think of really engaging questions if you can't think of them yourself. And once you plug those in, this will really, really help your content find the best answers. And then we have this show guided AI response, this show guide response. This will just deliver a small text box that kind of explains what the content is. Let me show you really quick.
Yeah, it was.
So you see right up here this summary. If I click on this summary, it gives a nice little AI generated summary in text form. Then we have the calls to action. Now you might notice on this player that we don't have a call to action set. And that is because you can set these calls to actions either on upload, on your upload titles, or you can put it here for the whole player. So this is really nice if, let's just say you wanted to change the call to action for everything in a certain player, regardless of what it was uploaded with. That's where you use this. If you don't use this, it will default to either no calls to action or the calls to action added to the content. We have lots of different calls to action right away for you to use. And then we also allow you to add your own custom one. So you can write whatever words you'd like to show up on that call to action button. Then we have branding. So here we can put a logo. We can drop in and upload a logo. We also have lots of different color options. So we can pick through here, and this will actually change the colors. You'll also notice it'll change the fonts. So this is where you can kind of set the look and feel of the fonts and the colors to kind of more match your style. Or you can always reset it back to the default. Now the important part is, what do you want to put in this player? Here we have a section where you can select uploads. So you can see we've checked on all the videos we'd like. You can search as well if you have a lot of content. Down here is another confirmation of what is actually in your player. And then here's the domain restrictions. And I kind of recommend leaving this alone unless you really are adamant that your player can only show up on your website. For the most part, like I said, just it's good to leave it open, but we do offer the option if you want to have your player only work on certain websites, you can put it in the restrictions here. I would recommend testing this before you decide just to run with it. Is go ahead and make a player and then embed it, and then you see how these domain restrictions work, just so you don't get caught in a issue with that. And then finally, we have tags, and tags are again just for you, kind of like how we have here at the top with our player name is just for your organization. It's the same thing with the tags. You could tag these as a certain category, anything like that, but these tags are just for you. They will not affect the performance of the player. So that's how to build a player and how to customize it. And then whenever you are ready to go, whenever you've made the changes you like, you can hit Save Changes. There will be a brief few seconds before the player actually shows that it's ready to go. You'll know it's ready whenever you see it purple. For a paid account, there's two places you can find your player. If you click Visit Player, you'll find an HTML page of just the player. And then if you have a paid account, you can embed this in your website and it will show up wherever you embed it.